Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to be giving a quick overview of the Casio G-Shock GW-7900 watch. This is module 3193 from Casio. This video should work for you if you've also got the 3200. It's basically the same watch, just in a different color. I like doing these videos in case there's somebody sitting out there that are thinking about buying this watch and they just want to get an idea of how do some of the features work. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. I've done videos in the past that walk you through each different feature on the watch in more detail if you want to review any of those. Pretty basic watch from Casio. It's your G-Shock. It's less complicated than your Protrax because it doesn't have things like your barometer and your compass and stuff like that. You do have some modes on here and we'll walk you through it. Just looking at the watch face, you have a little subdial over here that's really just a second indicator. For me, it's really more so for decoration than anything else. You've got your day of the week, your month, and your date up top here. You do have some options on your display. You've got your time down here at the bottom, and then in the middle on the left-hand side, this little circle is going to be your moon phase, and then in the middle is going to be your tide information. You'll notice that that blinking indicator there is showing me my current tide for my current home city, for the home city I have configured on the watch. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail. I should mention that the moon phase is adjustable, so you can actually change whether you're looking at it from a northerly or a southerly view. That's basically going to change where the shaded part is on the moon. Is it on the right side or is it on the left side? I mentioned you could change your display. When we're sitting here looking at the watch face, if you simply press if you press the top right button, your reset button, you can change your display. So if you don't want to see the day, month, and date, you can toggle that and you can see your world time. It's a pretty cool feature. If you're somebody who travels a lot, or maybe you do business overseas, or you work for a company that does stuff overseas, the bottom here you've got your current time, and then up top you have your world time view based on whatever city you have set in your world time settings. If you're not interested in the world time, again, you can simply toggle that back. It is not a toggle that will go away, so whatever you have it set on, it will always keep that setting until you change it. I mentioned that you have some mode buttons down here. If you simply press the mode button once, it'll take you to your tide and moon mode. It's always going to drop you in at the tide. Again, I can see the same thing as what we saw before, but what this one does is it shows you what was your tide information as of 6 a.m. this morning for my current location. I can use the buttons on the right-hand side to go back and look. So in my case, for example, low tide was at 2 a.m. And you'll notice as I keep pressing it, it'll basically move over. My high tide was around 7 a.m. Maybe I'm going surfing later this afternoon and I want to see what's the tide information for 5 o'clock. I can look and see what kind of tide I'm going to have. I can press the adjust button while I'm in the moon and tide, and I can see my moon information. It's been 21 days since the last new moon. Again, I can just see the moon phase. Cool thing with the moon is you can go as far back in the past or as far into the future as you want to see the moon information. You can also do this with the tide information. So for example, let's go to May 15th. That's going to be what the moon's going to look like. That's going to be how many days since the last new moon on that date. And then I can simply press the adjust button and I can also see the tide information for that date. So any day in the future, any day in the past, you can go look at the moon and tide information. That's what you can do basically in your moon tide mode. Press the mode button again. I've got my world time option. It's going to be the same thing as what we saw before, but instead of seeing my current time as well as the world time, all I'm going to see here is going to be the world time value. The day, the month and date, my city code for my world time, and then the time of my world time. Press the mode button again. You basically get to your alarm mode. This watch has 4 different alarms and a snooze alarm, so really 5 alarms. And then you have the option for an hourly signal if you want to use the hourly chime feature. Press the mode button again. You've got your stopwatch feature, pretty basic to any other Casio watch. Your start, stop, or pause, resume, reset. Press the mode button again. You get to your final mode, which is going to be your countdown timer again. Start, stop or pause. I could resume it, or I could reset it. Press mode one more time, takes you back to your main timekeeping mode. Not a whole lot else to show you there. You do have your battery level indicator down here at the bottom, and then you've got some other indicators that are really small on this watch. For example, you can see P-Save shows you down here whether or not you have the power save functionality on. You've also got a little line up here in white lettering that shows you things like, do you have your snooze alarm on? Do you have any one of your other alarms on? Do you have the automatic LED light on? So on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my backlight. You do have a backlight function on this watch, as with other Casio watches. This bottom gray button in the middle here is going to be your backlight. You can adjust the backlight between 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds, which is pretty standard with any Casio watch. I'm going to turn this off. I do have another backlight. Let me turn this off. Try and get as dark as possible. Give you an idea of what the backlight looks like. It is nice and bright on this watch. Some Casio watches, it's a little bit lacking. This one is actually very good. My backlight is set to 3 seconds, so that's what it looks like if you have it set for 3 seconds. Pretty simple stuff. I hope it gives you an idea of how the Casio G-Shock GW-7900 works. Again, I've done some more detailed videos. If I went through anything too fast, or if you want to see how you do the settings and stuff like that, you can check those out. Thanks for watching. Hope the video helped.